We're looking at solving rational equations, and what that amounts to is that we have an equation made up of rational expressions. We first want to note anywhere that the domain is not defined, anywhere that when our variable equals a specific value, that our equation will have an undefined element. So in this case, the only place we have the variable is in our first rational expression with 1 over y. So let's just write off to the side, y can't equal 0, because that would make the denominator 0, which is undefined. Now our first step is, after noting where it's undefined, looking for the least common denominator of all of our denominators. So in this case, we have y, we have 3, and we have 5. The least common denominator would then be 15y. The constants 3 and 5, the least common factor is 15, and then we have the y to deal with as well. So now we multiply both sides of the equation by the lowest common denominator, the least common denominator. So we have 1 over y plus 2/3, and we already said our least common denominator is 15y, so we multiply this by 15y equals 1/5. We multiply that side by 15y as well. So 15y times 1 over y, that gives us 15. 15y times 2/3, we're distributing on this left-hand side. 15y times 2/3, well, 15 divided by 3 is 5. And then 5 times 2 is 10. And we still have our y. You could also just multiply 15y times 2, which would be 30y, and then divide by 3. You'll get the same thing. And then 15y times 1/5, that's 15y divided by 5, so that would be 3y. So we move our variable to the left, variable terms to the left, our constant to the right, so we subtract 3y from both sides, and then subtract 15 from both sides. And I'm combining a couple steps there. So the 15s cancel on the left-hand side. 10y minus 3y is 7y. 3y minus 3y is 0. So 7y equals negative 15. Then dividing both sides by 7, we get y equals negative 15 sevenths. So now that we've solved for our variable, we will check the solution. And we do that by substituting what we solved back into the original equation. So 1 over negative 15 sevenths, and again this is our check, plus 2/3, and we want that to equal 1/5. So 1 divided by negative 15 sevenths, that's going to be negative 7/15. And the reason for that is because we're dividing by a fraction, so we multiply by the reciprocal. So negative 7/15 plus, let's put this over a common denominator. So 3 times 5 is 15, so 2 times 5 is 10. 2/3 is 10/15. Again, we want that to equal 1/5. 10 minus 7 is 3/15. And then simplifying this, 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So we end up with 1/5 equals 1/5. Our solution checks, so y equals negative 15 sevenths is the solution to 1 over y plus 2/3 equals 1/5.